The BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. These two cars represent the cream of the sports sedan crop. Every other automaker has spent countless hours trying to crack the code of what makes these two cars just so special. BMW arguably defined the segment with the launch of the 2002, but they perfected it in 1982 with the introduction of the E30, a car so good enthusiasts are still singing its praises 3 decades later. Mercedes-Benz followed suit with the launch of the 190e, a car as over-engineered as any to ever wear the three-pointed star. 30 years later, these two are still at each other's throats. I present to you the 2012 BMW 328i and the 2012 Mercedes-Benz C250. After years of rocking big, thirsty 6-cylinder engines, both of these cars now have 4 bangers under the hood. Can you even call it a 3 Series without an inline 6? BMW seems to think so, and with modern technology like direct injection and turbocharging, there's no sacrifice in performance or power. In the case of the C250, the little 1.8-liter Turbo 4 makes 201 horsepower and 226 pound-feet of torque. In the 328i, the 2-liter turbo makes 240 horsepower and a very impressive 260 pound-feet of torque. Those are almost diesel numbers, and all that power is available from just 1,250 RPMs. Better yet, BMW is claiming that this car can get 36 miles per gallon on the highway. By way of contrast, the Mercedes-Benz is capable of achieving 31. But we didn't come all the way out here to Malibu just to talk about these cars. Let's get in them, drive them, and see how they match up head to head. There are parts of the C250 that instantly remind you you're driving a Mercedes-Benz. The command system, for instance, is lifted straight out of bigger, more expensive models like the S-Class. But don't think that this is just a big Benz with some length chopped out of the wheelbase. It's not. The seats, for example, are bad. I don't know any other way to say it. They're uncomfortable, they're not supportive, they don't belong in any sports sedan, and they really don't belong in a Mercedes-Benz. I happen to like the steering wheel and the steering feel, but some of my colleagues have complained about not only the materials, but it's too light. Then there's the ride, which is choppy and most likely a result of that stumpy wheelbase. Point is, the whole thing just isn't up to the standard you'd expect from Mercedes-Benz. Still, driving the C250 next to the Pacific Ocean, you're filled with a sense of solidity. You instinctively know this is a good car, a smart car, a competent car, a car you could drive anytime to any place. What's missing then is that certain sense of wonder, that specialness. Like, I know I'm wearing an expensive suit, but it doesn't feel tailored, it doesn't feel fancy. This car is business class, not first class. Here in the 328i, things have changed. Much like the Mercedes, the last 3 Series interior was good, but lacking that certain something special. Not anymore. For instance, BMW, they've ditched that weird, shiny purple wood stuff that nobody liked in favor of this much better looking brushed aluminum. And while red leather may not be your thing, though I'm starting to think it is my thing, these are among the most comfortable, cost-setting seats I've ever experienced in a sports sedan. They're just fabulous. And then there's everything else. I mean, iDrive is as good as it's ever been. There's this beautiful navigation screen. I've got a heads-up display. I've also got an eco mode that tells me how many miles per gallon I'm saving. This is just a fabulous car. And then there's the steering. Now, BMWs of yesteryear were rightly lauded for their intuitive, direct, connected steering feel. But the last 3 Series got away from that, erring instead on the side of luxury, or worse, some kind of variable techno gobbledygook that was more numb than engaging. That's all gone. While still variable, BMW has smartly stuck with the hydraulic assist, and the results are just sublime. I feel no hesitation whatsoever in saying that this is the best handling sports sedan you can buy. Either of these cars will easily take you to your 9 to 5. It's only by way of comparison that the Mercedes stumbles a bit, feels a tad less special than the BMW. Put another way, I would happily daily drive either of these two. So would you. So would anyone. But the true test of a sports sedan is how it handles a twisting canyon road. And that's where we're headed next. For being so similar on paper, these two cars are remarkably different animals. Right now, I'm in the Mercedes-Benz C250, and the initial impression you get is that wonderful, typical sense of you're driving a bank vault. And you get this in a lot of Mercedes-Benz. They're very solid, very over-engineered cars. And we're up here in a wonderful canyon road, and I'm throwing it hard into the corners, and the car's totally handling it, but there's a but. And the best way I can describe it is, remember the guy from high school, straight-A student, valedictorian, captain of the football team, head of the debating club, and he did all those things, but he didn't necessarily do them because he was passionate about them. He did them because he was told that was what he was supposed to do. Well, that's this car. Yes, it can masquerade as a performance sedan, but it just isn't. It just really isn't its primary function, and it's noticeable when you push it hard. So now we're going to find out how fast this thing goes. Remember, it's a 1.8 liter turbo. Here we go. I mean, for such a small engine, it's really quick. 0 to 60, 6.9 seconds. Again, not spectacular, but it's a tiny engine. Keep your foot in it, and you're going to go through the quarter mile in 15.2 seconds, and it's pretty good for what it is. It really is. It's very competent, it's very predictable. And that's the big takeaway. It's a very competent, predictable car, but you just get the sense that it would rather be doing something else, like filing your taxes. It's just not a sports sedan first. Great car, just not sporty enough. Now we get to figure out how fast the BMW 328i is in a straight line. Remember, it's just a 2-liter 4-cylinder. Here we go. Little bit of initial turbo lag, but my God, this thing is fast. 60 miles an hour happens in 5.6 seconds. We're just accelerating and accelerating. Quarter mile, 14.2 at 97 miles an hour from a 2-liter. Just incredible. As fast as this car is, that's not what it's about. This car's about corners. It just eats them up. I mean, the Mercedes goes through a corner, no problem, fine, it's okay, but this car just loves it. And not only that, you can do anything you want. You want to brake late, turn in late, it loves it. You want to keep the revs up, power slide through that corner, it'll do that too. It just loves to be driven hard. And I think at the end of the day, when you're talking about sports sedans, that's the deciding factor. Which one's more fun? Which one makes you want to go out and drive more? Clearly, between these two, it's the BMW. The C250 is a good car, a very good car, but this is a great car. The BMW is faster, it handles better, it's more fun to drive, it's bigger, it's more luxurious, it has better tech. Let me put it to you like this. I don't even like modern BMWs, and I'm thinking about buying one, in wagon form, of course. For a generation now, the 3 Series has defined what a sports sedan is, and I think the new one, this 328i, it redefines the segment. It's also the winner of our head-to-head. Don't feel too bad for Mercedes. They have a new C-Class coming. We've seen heavily camoed ones running around, and you can be sure as soon as they launch it, we will restage this battle. In the meantime, if there's a head-to-head you'd like to see, let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching.